Welcome to Man and Golf, where I teach the simplest swing method you can possibly learn, the single plane swing. Have you been searching for that one tip to just simplify everything for you and not have 10,000 different swing thoughts going through your head, but still hit the ball well? Well, today is your lucky day. So what's this magic key? Well, the magic key is this trail elbow. You want to tuck it in, and you want it to stay tucked in the whole swing. So you don't want to set up like this. You're going to set up with this elbow tucked in, and then you want to keep it tucked in the whole swing. So start with it tucked, and then keep it tucked in the whole swing. So tuck in this elbow, and it's going to solve all of your problems. So I'm quickly going to run through the reasons why I'm calling this the magic elbow, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, how you can start with this elbow tucked in and keep it there. Because it's one thing for me to give you the tip, and there's hundreds of videos saying the same exact thing I've said up to this point, but then it's another thing for me to show you exactly how to do it. So I hope to accomplish both of these things with this magic elbow, where you can go to the course, simplify your swing, and have fun playing the game of golf. So really, this magic elbow is as simple as this. If you start with it tucked in and keep it tucked in, there's one way for your arm to be tucked in. It's tucked in. So tucked in and still tucked in. But if your elbow is not all the way tucked in, there are 50,000 different versions of that. So really, this elbow being tucked in is going to skyrocket your consistency, where you're just hitting the ball so good you didn't even know you could do that. Because if you don't know where your arm's going to go, the same way in the backswing every time, then that means you don't know where this club is going to go. And so if you don't know where the club's going to go, you don't know where the ball is going to go. But if you keep this elbow tucked in, you can keep it tucked in. That means you know where the club's going to be. So you have a way better idea of where the ball's going to be when you hit it. So this is magic reason number one, is you're going to follow a very consistent path on the backswing every single time. Your swing is going to be very similar. Each swing is going to be very similar. So we're getting closer to same, and same is consistent. So it's going to follow a very consistent path tucked in every time. If you don't keep it tucked in, your arms can go in 5,000 different directions. So it's going to follow a very consistent path. And so this is magic reason number one, is you can keep this trail arm tucked in, and it's going to follow a very consistent path in the backswing every single time, and your consistency is going to go through the roof. Magic reason number two that this elbow is magic is it's going to fix every slice. Because a slice happens when you're cutting across the ball. But keeping this elbow tucked in means you're going to swing from the inside. And that's going to eliminate your slice. So I'm going to start with it not tucked in, and you can see my arms are going to lift, and I'm going to cut across the ball, hit it chunky. It's just going to be really hard to be consistent with that. And now I'm going to come in nice and shallow with a tucked in trail arm, and I'm going to keep it tucked in, and I'm going to come and hit this ball from a nice shallow inside position, and that's powerful. That's powerful right there. So keeping this elbow tucked in is going to have your arms swinging around you, and this is naturally what your arms are going to want to do anyways, is swing around you, just like this, back and around. Your arms don't want to lift, but if you don't start with this arm tucked in like this, how it naturally wants to swing around you, see it's tucked in right here, but instead you start over, now your arms are going to want to lift, and that's what causes a slice. So that's magic reason number two, is by keeping this elbow tucked in, you're going to swing from the inside and be very consistent with golf. Magic reason number three is you're going to get shaft lean. What do I mean by shaft lean? You're going to get the shaft leading when you're hitting the golf ball. So you watch this elbow works in, shaft lean. If this elbow isn't tucked in and stays out, that's where you get this scooping action and you don't get any shaft lean. So magic reason number 3, that this is a magic elbow, starting with it tucked in and keeping it there, is this is how you're going to get shaft lean. Working this elbow in gets the handle of the club leading the club head, and that is how you're going to hit the sweet spot of this wedge. You need to hit it like this to get the sweet spot on it. You need this elbow to be tucked in and leading. And so, but if you start with it tucked in and you keep it tucked in, you'll be able to hit those crisp iron shots. So I'm gonna start with it tucked in, keep it tucked in, and make sure I work that elbow in, and that's how I'm gonna get shaft lean with this wedge and hit a crispy golf shot. So magic reason number 4 is if you do anything other than keep this elbow tucked in, you're most likely not gonna have a shallow golf swing. See, magic reason number 4 is this elbow makes you swing shallow. See, swinging from the inside and swinging shallow are very closely related. When you start swinging from out to in, you can see from here to there, you're coming in steep, and you're gonna have to be really precise. You're gonna have to hit right at that ball. The margin of error is so small. Whereas if you're coming in shallow, you could even hit it, you know, about right here behind the ball, and it could still be a perfect golf shot because you're coming in shallow, and from the inside, and that makes golf so much easier. So that's magic reason number 4 is this is how you get a shallow golf swing. You don't have to think about how I lifted my arms. So, and all these different pros lift their arms and then they shallow the club differently. You don't have to worry about that. You can already have a shallow golf swing with this magic elbow. You just let the club swing around you like this and keep it tucked, because then you're already shallow. You don't have to try and have this professional golf swing. You can have a very consistent golf swing and get way closer to pro-like results by not trying to copy their swing. You keep this elbow tucked in, and golf gets so much easier for you because you're coming in very shallow. Look from my club head to the ball. Look how close to the ground the club is. See, it has no choice but to be shallow here. Whereas if the elbows gets out away from you, look how steep you're gonna be coming into the ball. So you're swinging from the inside and you're swinging shallow and you're getting shaft lean. So I don't know what more you could want, but there is more. So magic reason number 5. Why is this magic? This tucking in. Why is this gonna solve all your struggles with golf? This is how you also get effortless power. Now, if I gave you a task, and that is, if you can imagine this club here is actually a brick wall, okay? And you're trying to slam with a flat hand here, you're trying to slam a brick wall as hard as you can with as much power as you can in the easiest way possible. What would you do to slam your hand against this wall? Well, you're gonna pull in and then push. You're gonna pull in. Now, in, see that? In. To slam this wall, you're gonna pull in. You're not gonna raise your hand up here and glance the wall. To hit this wall with power, same thing with a golf swing, you wanna be hitting that wall. To come in with that power, you're not gonna be here, you're gonna have no power. You swing in with the tucked in trail arm so you can slam this wall as hard as you can. Boom, 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 slam it. That's how you get effortless power, is right here. This is the most powerful position in golf, is a tucked in trail arm at the top of the swing where you can release that club powerfully through the golf ball. So that's what I'm gonna do here, is I'm gonna try to swing as hard as I can here. So that's what I'm gonna do this wedge here. That's how I'm gonna get this effortless power, is I'm gonna start tucked in, I'm gonna get to this power position at the top, which is just the arm tucked in. And then the ball's just gonna fly off the club face. So magic reason number 6 is you're gonna square the club face more consistently than you ever have because you're gonna have a consistent release coming through the ball. And if you've ever watched Ben Hogan, where he says, what I see people struggle with is from the top of the swing. The first move is here, here. And you see how the butt of the club is in line with the ball? And it's just kind of magically doing that for him. And then he just releases his hands and hits a ball first. Well, he can move his body and then release the club. And that's how you're gonna have that consistent release, just like Ben Hogan. And the only way you can do that is if your elbow's tucked in at the top of the swing. Because if my elbow's anywhere other than tucked in at the top of the swing, that first movement, the club's gonna fall behind you. But if you're on your arm's natural swing path, where this club's swinging around you, the first movement, because it's already on this path right here, the first movement of the swing isn't your arms trying to get on the path. The first movement of the swing is your hands are moving in front of the ball, and then you're gonna have that consistent release. And a consistent release is gonna mean a square club face. So that's what we're gonna do right here, is I'm going to turn, and then when I turn back, the club is magically coming with me. I'm not getting stuck or anything like this. The club is gonna come with me. And magic reason number 7, the last magic reason before we get into how exactly we're gonna do this, is it fixes your longer clubs. Because most of you can hit a wedge, right? You can still, I can hang my arms straight down, lift my arms, and see, I still struck it well. I can't do that. As I get to a 5-iron, a driver, a 3-wood, that becomes almost impossible to hit good quality, consistent golf shots if you're lifting your arms and you're not keeping this magic elbow. So I've got a 3-wood here, and this is just about the only way I can hit a 3-wood consistently is if I keep this trail arm tucked in the whole swing so the club can just run into the ball. Because any way else, this is just entirely too hard. So I'm gonna focus on keeping this elbow tucked in, and the club will just run into the ball. Just like that. I was always horrible with a 3-wood, but not anymore. Okay, so now you know why it's called the magic elbow and why that was the title of this video. The magic elbow, keeping it tucked in and keeping it tucked in the whole swing. Now the second half of the video is gonna be on how can we do that without messing it up? Because I also saw all these YouTube videos on keeping the arm tucked in, but I had a very hard time of actually doing it. So that's what we're gonna focus on, is how you can start with it tucked in and keep it tucked in the whole swing, where you can get these consistent results that you want. Now, this first step is obvious, and that is you want to start with it tucked in, okay? So you don't want to start like this. You don't want to look like this. You want this to be tucked in from the elbow to the shoulder, boom, boom. That's where you want to start. You want to start with it nice and tucked in and keep it tucked in the whole swing, and the club just runs into the ball and you don't have to try that hard. Okay, this is reason number 2, and there are hundreds of videos on how to keep your arm tucked in on YouTube that are gonna miss this crucial step, and you're gonna not keep your arm tucked in. And that is, you want the upper part of your arm to be tucked in, but not your forearm. You don't want your forearm to also be rotated this way. If you grab a weight of any kind, because a weight is gonna show you your power position in the swing and what the club's gonna do, if the forearm is also rotated the same way as the upper part of your arm, see, it's wanting to fall behind me the whole swing, right? It's wanting to fall behind me. It's not coming with me to start the swing. And then there's another key step, if you start like that, where you don't start with a forearm like this, but you start with it like this, which is what I'm saying not to do. If you start like that, then watch what's gonna happen if I have the correct turn. See how high my arms are going in the swing? They're lifting up. They're lifting up, and I can't stop it. The reason your arms are raising up, even though you're starting with your arm tucked in, but it's becoming untucked, is because of this forearm. So if we go to the top of my swing where I'm in power, and this dumbbell isn't wanting to do this, you know, see the forearm? Boom. I'm in power with this 15-pound dumbbell and in balance when this forearm is the complete opposite way as the upper part of your arm. Because what the arm is doing is it's wanting to get to this power position. You know how I said to hit that brick wall? Did your arm do this or that? Did it go like this and you're gonna have to flip? Or did it go like this where you can slam it? Your forearm went like this because it's the position you're in balance. See, I can swing this weight around me back and through with this forearm rotated over. So if you hang your arms straight down, like so much instruction teaches, you saw me, my arms are here, they're not here. So if you hang your arms straight down, you can't rotate the forearm over unless this arm's bent like this. So you're gonna have a really tough time keeping that arm tucked in the whole swing. It's gonna wanna fly. Because, watch the dumbbell, why is it wanting to do this? Why is it wanting to go so high? Why is it going so high? Because it's trying to get to this position with this forearm rotated over. And it's saying, oh, I'm not in power, I'm not in power, I'm not in power, let me raise up and rotate this forearm. But if you start with this forearm over, see how much this upper part of your arm wants to stay tucked in? It's just like this. It wants to stay tucked in. Whereas if you start with the forearm like this, your arm's gonna wanna get to that position, but you're not gonna be able to keep your trail arm tucked in. So I've single-handedly seen at least 100 videos on keeping this trail arm tucked in, and then they're just gonna go and set up like this. That's all wrong. You're not gonna be able to keep it tucked in if you hang your arm straight down. You just saw with the dumbbell, it's just gonna wanna fly to the sky. You have to start with your forearm the opposite way. See, fly, over, in. I'm not having to do anything, it's just automatically going to the right spot, staying tucked in without me having to think about anything. That's what you want. So to have the magic elbow as your friend, you need to start in that position, but you can't have your arm straight down. You need to have a bend to your arm with, from your elbow to your shoulder tucked in, but then your forearm rotated over. So you can kind of tuck it in 90 degrees like this and rotate your forearm over and drop it, and you'll see your arms bent. It's not straight down. And that's how you're gonna be consistent in golf with this magic elbow. The third thing you need to do, and this is something I messed up for 5 years, when I knew I wanted to keep my elbow tucked in, I couldn't because I wasn't turning enough. I thought I couldn't turn enough, but that wasn't the case. You can see on my golf swings, I'm keeping this elbow tucked in. So this is my swing now, and then I'll show you my swing when I first started golf. So that's a good swing, it stayed tucked. This is my swing when I first started golf. And I'm gonna try to keep it tucked in. See that? Just like this. And it was impossible for me to keep my arms tucked in, even though I'm trying to keep it tucked in, it just wants to fly to the sky. And there's just about nothing I can do, and it's very frustrating. And the reason was because I'm not turning enough. My hips, I'm not getting the proper turn. Because if you don't turn enough, your arms are gonna keep going and the elbow's not gonna stay tucked in. So if I do that same swing, but I get to where the elbow's tucked in and the lead arm is straight, my hands are hip high. This is because I turned my hips about 20 degrees. So I didn't turn my hips enough. And then I can't turn my upper body enough. So then what are the arms gonna do? They're gonna keep going. But watch what happens if I turn my hips enough. Then I can turn my upper body, and this can stay tucked in the whole swing, and you can still feel powerful and consistent. So you really need to get a good quality turn. So I'm gonna give you 3 simple tips really quick on how you can get a good turn where you can keep this magic elbow tucked in because you're turning enough. The first thing is you can't sway. See this? You can't go off the ball. This is gonna prevent you from turning your hips. See this, sway, I'm not turning, my arm's only gonna be here and then they're gonna go like this. We want to get a good turn. And you see my head over the ball the whole time. So if you can see this club here, what you can do is that if I can just ask you to stand straight up and down and just get a full turn back and through. You'll notice you don't need to shift off the ball. I get a full turn when I'm over one spot. You see this club here? My head's over it the whole time. I'm not shifting off the ball. So when I'm setting up to the ball here, and you can imagine this club, I don't need to set up with my head over here because I can't get a full turn. I get a full turn over that spot. So I need to set up, not here, but with my head over the ball. And what it's gonna feel like for a lot of you is you're gonna put more weight forward and you wanna stay over that spot the whole swing. So get your head over the ball, it feels like you're putting your weight forward and you're staying over the ball the whole swing. And that's gonna free up this hip and allow you to turn and allow you to keep this elbow tucked in. And this is how you're gonna be consistent. So I'm getting my weight forward, going into my lead side, and I'm gonna stay there the whole swing. And that's gonna open up that hip, allow you to turn enough where you can keep this trail arm tucked in. So turn enough and through. And a drill that could really help you to feel this is swinging on one leg, where you eliminate the chance to sway. You take your back foot off the ground, and you're gonna focus on keeping your trail arm tucked in the whole swing. So prop your foot up like this, and you're gonna swing around your trail leg. You're not gonna shift because you can't. Your weight has to be forward, and you have to turn around that. And that's gonna open up that hip. You start with it tucked in, just like you learned in this video, and this way you're turning enough where you can keep it tucked in. So let's do that. Just like that. And that feeling, you want to feel that same swing with 2 feet. You want to feel like you're staying centered over the ball and you're turning around your trail leg. And so for some of you, it could feel like you have to open up this trail foot a little bit to unlock these hips. You're like, I'm stuck. Rotate this out just a little bit more. Now I can turn those hips. You have to feel this same movement right here with 2 legs. And this is how you're going to accomplish this magic elbow. Tucked in, turn around me. There we go. And this magic elbow is how you're gonna swing with every single club. Wedge, 5-iron, 3-wood, 3-hybrid, driver, doesn't matter. So I got a pitching wedge here and a 3-hybrid. I've been hitting with a sand wedge this whole video. So I've got pitching wedge, and let's see what we can do with the pitching wedge. Tucked in, keep it tucked in, good shot. 3-hybrid. 3-hybrid in the hand, tuck it in, keep it tucked in, and your arms are gonna follow a consistent path every swing, and the club can just run into the ball in the easiest way possible. Tucked in. Man, that was smoked. I know y'all saw that. So that is my take on the magic elbow, on all the reasons it's magic, and how I would go about keeping this elbow tucked in the whole swing, as that's, because you know how it's magic, gonna really improve your golf swing and make you much more of a consistent ball striker. If you're new to the channel, I teach the single plane swing, as I believe it is the easiest swing method you can possibly learn, and this elbow tucked is a part of that. That's a part of fundamental 1 of 4 fundamentals that I teach, and that is setting up on your unique swing plane. In other words, the swing I teach, and you learned a lot of that in this video, is you're naturally gonna swing around you, the club, and we're just trying to get the club to run into the ball in the easiest way possible. So you're uniquely gonna swing the club around you. So you wanna set up there, and your elbow is gonna be in the same position you learned in this video. And then you're gonna wanna have a good turn, keeping that elbow tucked like you learned in this video. And that's fundamental 2, is turning correctly, maintaining the same spacing from the ball. The third fundamental is keeping your weight centered. You saw that with the club, staying centered over the ball to retain good contact with the ball. And the last thing is keeping this lead arm straight, because if it bends, this elbow is not tucked. You want to keep it straight. So here we go. Bang. So I have a full course, step-by-step, to learn your unique single plane swing. You can go check that out at manninggolf.com. The link is in the description of this video. It walks you through all 4 fundamentals step by step with tons of drills so you can feel everything correctly, know you're turning correctly, know you're setting up on your unique swing plane. This is the one tip that I've seen that's helped the most amount of golfers play good golf, is keeping this trail elbow tucked in. Just 2 weeks ago, I asked my papa, my dad's dad, I said, he's gotten too old where he can't play golf anymore and that bugs the crap out of him. But I asked him, I said, what's the one tip you did, you know, when he was shooting in the 70s, playing his best golf, what's the one tip you did to hit the ball the best? And he said to me, man, I always seemed to just play my best when I felt that trail elbow stayed close to my body and tucked in the whole swing. It felt good and consistent. That's really the only way I could consistently play golf. And I had no idea that was his experience, was the only way he could play good golf was keeping this trail elbow tucked in. So if you go through other YouTube videos on the same topic, you'll see everyone's saying pretty much about the same thing. It's a magic elbow. That's why I call it the magic elbow. It helps so many people's golf swings. So if you like this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as that would really help me out. But again, I hope you found some helpful tips in this video, and I hope the rest of your day goes well.